Is he playing? I didn't know he was playing. No, I just think that, we play in different eras. He's an unbelievable player. He's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. I know it's a natural tendency to compare eras to eras, and it's going to continue to happen. I'm a fan of his. I love watching him play. But it's, as you can see, our league is starting to expand on very talented players. And, I think he's made his mark. He will continue to do so over a period of time. But when you start the comparisons, I think it is what it is.
I have LeBron James as number 2 all time. We're talking about Russell. We're talking about Kareem. We're talking about Wilt. We're talking about Kobe. We're talking about Elgin Baylor and Oscar Robertson and all these people. I have the man number 2. In his world, that's an insult.
In reality, that is exactly why so many fans are reacting so strongly to this situation. The Hall of Famer finally shared his thoughts on the GOAT debate during a CBS interview this year, and instead of choosing a side, he completely rejected the idea itself. He explained that basketball has never been about one single greatest player, because every generation learns from the players before them and continues to evolve the game. That statement alone was enough to reignite the legendary Michael Jordan versus LeBron James debate, especially at a time when LeBron was once again being asked about his place compared to Jordan during a new ESPN interview. But what made LeBron's response interesting was that he did not simply declare himself the greatest of all time. Instead, he admitted that the constant GOAT discussions have become exhausting, calling them more like everyday barbershop debates. He showed respect for Jordan while explaining that the two players represent different styles of basketball. LeBron described himself as more of a pass-first player who focuses on creating opportunities for his teammates, while Jordan was known as a relentless scorer and a dominant offensive force. Rather than ending the debate, that explanation only gave fans more reasons to keep arguing. Once LeBron gave his opinion, Jordan's silence became an even bigger part of the conversation. Fans started wondering if MJ's decision to avoid these public debates says more than any interview answer ever could. And that is what makes Jordan's approach so interesting. He has never been someone who constantly responds to every criticism or gives the media the exact quotes they are looking for. Instead, the clearest statement he has made recently was simply rejecting the entire GOAT label. In a way, that response feels very much like Jordan. He does not need to stand in front of everyone and announce that he is the greatest. He can simply refuse to accept the argument, leaving everyone else to continue debating. Ironically, that quiet approach has only made the conversation louder. When one side chooses not to engage, fans, analysts, and critics fill the silence with their own opinions, theories, and endless GOAT debates.
I think there are some things that I do better than him. That's just how the game goes. There's a lot of things that I can say in particular. You already know how this conversation is going to be misinterpreted by people, man. And then if Benjamin asks, has it been a burden as an adult, that ambition? Because now everybody brings it up. You can't escape the comparison, to which LeBron responded by saying, quote, no, I think it's a very tiring conversation. It's barbershop talk. You can look at both of us and say that you love both of us without trying to shh on the other person. And usually it's the shh on me. But I know for sure that I've done my part in this journey, and more than anything, I hope, and I don't know, but I hope I made him proud at least wearing that number 23, end quote.
Interestingly, Jordan may have actually supported LeBron behind the scenes years ago when the media criticism around the young superstar was reaching extreme levels. According to Michael Wilbon, Jordan once called him and basically asked him to ease up on LeBron, explaining that he understood what it felt like to face that level of attention and pressure. Wilbon's story revealed a side of Michael Jordan that was very different from the distant and emotionless image many people associate with him. It suggested that MJ understood how powerful and overwhelming the media spotlight could be for a young player trying to live up to impossible expectations. That detail completely changes the way people look at the relationship between Jordan and LeBron. Many fans believe Jordan either stayed away from LeBron's controversies or quietly judged him from a distance. But Wilbon's comments suggest a much more complicated and human perspective. It shows that Jordan may have recognized the pressure LeBron was dealing with early in his career and chose not to add more criticism to the situation. While he never publicly defended LeBron with a major statement or viral moment, that private gesture still carried significant meaning. And that might be why so many people are starting to view Jordan's silence differently. Sometimes silence does not mean someone does not care. Sometimes it means they are choosing not to make the situation worse.
I came across, and I think that it's relatively disappointing. And I want Mike Wilbon and Doggy, two historians, people that I look up to. So I want to say this directly in front of them, and I'm open to the discussion. Everything that LeBron James said was right on point. When he dissected the difference between his game, Michael Jordan, how he looked at things, how he approaches the game. He looked to pass first, Michael Jordan looked to shoot first, etc., etc. All of those things are accurate. I didn't have a single syllable that he uttered until the last line, when he talked about you can look at two guys without, for the purpose of shitting on somebody. But obviously it's usually somebody doing that to me. That is where the problem lies.
Jordan's approach to the GOAT debate has always been different. His latest comments show that he has no interest in turning basketball history into a simple list where one player is declared the winner and everyone else falls behind. During his CBS interview, Jordan made it clear that, in his opinion, there is no single greatest player of all time. That statement directly challenges the way modern sports media works, where every discussion is often reduced to finding one champion and one person who loses the argument. And that is exactly why this debate refuses to disappear. Jordan does not fully step into the comparison, while LeBron does not make things easier by openly claiming that he is above Jordan. As a result, fans are left analyzing interviews, replaying old moments, and debating every single word both legends have said. The funny thing is that LeBron himself appears exhausted by the constant comparisons. In his recent ESPN interview, he explained that he grew up admiring Michael Jordan and does not see the debate as some battle that needs a final winner. He made it clear that he has no intention of disrespecting Jordan and believes both players accomplished things the other never did. It is a thoughtful and respectful answer. But in the world of sports debates, even a balanced response becomes fuel for another argument. When LeBron speaks with humility, one group sees it as maturity, while another sees it as a way of avoiding the pressure of the comparison. That is the real issue with GOAT debates. They are never just about one quote or one statistic. They are connected to years of emotions, memories, and personal opinions about what greatness truly means. And when it comes to Jordan, that emotional connection is massive. For millions of fans, he remains the ultimate standard because his resume is so easy to defend. 6 championships with a perfect finals record, scoring titles, elite defense, unforgettable playoff moments, and a reputation for delivering when the pressure was highest. LeBron's argument, however, is built on a different foundation. His case focuses on longevity, versatility, consistency, and the ability to remain one of the best players in the world across multiple generations of basketball. That difference is exactly why the debate never reaches a final conclusion. Jordan and LeBron represent two completely different definitions of greatness, and fans often support whichever version matches their own beliefs about what basketball should reward. Jordan's silence during LeBron controversies has become so fascinating because he rarely explains himself publicly. He is not the type of former player who constantly enters every debate to defend his legacy or prove a point. When Jordan does decide to speak, people pay attention because his words are rare. That is why one private story from Wilbon and one CBS interview where Jordan rejects the GOAT label can create such a massive reaction. Fans want a direct Jordan versus LeBron statement, but instead they often receive a response that feels incomplete, part answer, part mystery. And in sports media, that kind of uncertainty creates endless discussion. There's also a generational difference behind all of this. Jordan came from an era where greatness was something you earned on the court and protected through your actions, not something debated every day online. LeBron's era is completely different. Today, every ranking, every achievement, and every comparison is analyzed instantly by millions of fans. So when Jordan chooses not to fully engage, people interpret that silence in different ways. Some believe he is above the conversation. Others think he simply does not want to participate. Some even believe his silence helps protect the mysterious aura that made him a global icon. But maybe the simplest explanation is the right one. Michael Jordan does not need the GOAT debate to prove who he is. His legacy already speaks for itself.
Because what we don't talk about enough, Wilbon and Doggy, is as great as LeBron James is and how much he deserves to be celebrated. We don't talk about what he has done to hurt, not the game, but narratives associated with the game because of how he responds to it. I looked it up, Wilbon and Doggy. Do y'all know that there have been over 5,400 players in NBA history that have played in the NBA?
The Wilbon story adds another interesting layer to the entire situation. It suggests that Jordan may have quietly stepped in years ago to protect a young LeBron from the kind of intense media criticism that MJ himself experienced during his career. If that story is accurate, it reveals something important about Jordan's perspective. He understood the pressure and unfairness of constant comparisons long before social media turned debates about greatness into a non-stop industry. It also suggests that Jordan's connection to LeBron's legacy may not have been based purely on competition. There could have been a level of understanding and respect behind the scenes, even if Jordan never chose to make that support public. However, LeBron supporters often interpret Jordan's silence in a completely different way. They see his refusal to officially crown a GOAT as a legend avoiding the final answer. To them, Jordan understands how complicated the comparison is and chooses to step away rather than openly admit that LeBron has surpassed him. And that is exactly why the debate becomes so emotional. One side views Jordan's approach as humility, while the other believes he is simply protecting the legacy and status he built over decades. The biggest reason this argument never ends is because LeBron continues adding to his career resume. Every season creates another achievement, another milestone, and another reason for fans to bring the conversation back to Jordan. LeBron himself has also made it difficult for the debate to disappear. Even at 41 years old and deep into his NBA career, he continues producing at a level that keeps the comparison alive. In his recent ESPN interview, he showed that he understands the debate, but does not treat it as the most important thing in basketball. That creates a fascinating situation. The more LeBron shows that he is tired of constantly being compared to Jordan, the more fans become curious about what Jordan truly thinks. So when people say Jordan's silence has everyone reacting, they are really reacting to the mystery behind it. Jordan has said enough to reject the idea of a single GOAT, but he has never provided the clear answer fans are searching for. He may have privately shown support for LeBron when criticism was at its peak, but he has never transformed that into a public endorsement or full acceptance of the comparison. That combination of limited public statements and reported private respect creates the perfect environment for endless debate. Fans do not know whether to view Jordan as a supporter, a competitor, or simply a legend who refuses to participate in the internet's obsession with choosing sides. And that is why this story continues to attract attention. Jordan's silence is not meaningless, it carries weight. It forces people to debate respect, legacy, pride, and what true greatness actually represents. Without saying much, Jordan keeps LeBron's name connected to his own legacy. He allows both legends to remain exactly who they are while the basketball world continues doing what it always does: comparing, ranking, and arguing. In many ways, Jordan may have handled the situation perfectly. He gave fans just enough to keep the GOAT conversation alive, then stepped away and allowed everyone else to continue the debate.
That is how he has acted with so many people along the way. But he doesn't do it directly, as you know, Wilbon, and as you should know, Doggy. Oh, no. Other people do it for him. I remember years ago when I'm sitting there joking around with Rich Paul, and I'm like, y'all act like that's an insult. Seriously, with a serious face, Rich Paul looks me in the face. It is an insult. What? That is the problem.
It really is that simple. Jordan did not need a long explanation or a dramatic speech to create a massive reaction. One brief statement rejecting the GOAT label, combined with the old Wilbon story about him privately supporting LeBron, was enough to restart one of basketball's biggest debates. That shows the kind of influence Michael Jordan still carries. Even when he says very little, he can completely change the direction of the conversation. Without making a controversial statement or creating a headline, he can still make the entire basketball world pay attention. And as long as LeBron continues playing and fans keep comparing the two legends, Jordan's silence may continue to speak louder than any direct answer ever could. That is where the debate stands today. LeBron believes the constant comparisons have become exhausting. Jordan believes the idea of a single GOAT does not truly fit basketball. Wilbon's story suggests that Jordan may have privately shown support for LeBron during difficult moments. Meanwhile, fans remain caught in the middle, analyzing every interview and turning every new comment into another chapter of the same never-ending debate. That is exactly why this conversation refuses to disappear. And it is also why Jordan's quiet approach continues to create more discussion than a loud statement ever would. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because this is one basketball debate that may never truly have a final answer.